What about the shame and guilt that
Mm.
most people who've been through sexual abuse go through?
Yeah.
How do you approach that?
Well, so one of the things that about working with shame is making it super simple. So I think that's a concept that I really use throughout my program and throughout my work is trying to take things that seem really big and what I call kind of like spaghetti brain, like it's just all these different things, and like try to make it as super simple as
Hmm.
possible.
Hmm.
So there's some work that we do that leads up to working around shame. So some steps that we take, reconnecting with our integrity, reconnecting with our sense of self, beginning to connect with our higher genuine self, even though people in these early stages of the program do not believe any of that stuff. And that's okay. I tell them that, right? We're not worried about believing this. I just want you to connect to like who you might actually be instead of all of this, other
Yeah,
stuff that you've come to believe. And then teaching them how to process triggers, how to manage and respond to that, because we've got to have that foundation, right? Let me say it this way: if you are someone who's constantly getting triggered all of the time and going into this loop of escalation on a neurological level, right? The amygdala is taking over, your nervous system is getting activated, and then you're doing your best to try to calm that back down. But if you're stuck in that loop, it's actually really hard to do any other healing work, to process something like shame or communication or trust. So that's why we spend our time there. And then as we start to look at shame from those foundations, right, having those pieces in place, what we can begin to look at are three things, really, I guess. So the first are factors that are at play that prevent us from being able to stop or make choices about the abuse. I think one of the key reasons why we fall into shame is we think that there was something that we could have done about it, right? And
yeah,
we feel like we're to blame because surely I could have stopped it. Surely I could have spoken up. Surely I could have done something to make this terrible thing stop. So by first of all taking a look at the factors that are at play that actually make that impossible, like age or dependency on the abuser or fear and manipulation that occurs. So once people kind of get that first piece of noticing how their choice was taken away, right? And therefore,
yeah.
how can they, then we can go into the next piece, which is really looking at, you know, the belief systems around it's my fault, there's something that I did, or there's something about who I am that caused this abuse, which all contribute to shame, right? And then I love taking people through a process where we really start to look at the simple definition of shame, which is believing that you are at cause for something or that you made the choice to make something happen. And so I take my clients through an exercise that helps them really see in very simple black and white how there's no way that they made the choice around
Hmm.
abuse. And
Hmm.
therefore, it's not theirs. And if it's
Yeah.
not theirs, they can't be to blame.